Tournament leader Denny Brauer is fishing way upriver in a creek off Bugs Island Lake. He's had the area to himself the first 2 rounds of the Virginia Invitational. His is the only boat in Buffalo Creek this morning. But Denny's got company. The luck of the computer drawing system has paired Brauer with Levon Bentley, who's in 9th place, only 6 pounds behind. Both are in position to win. However, Levon's agreed to play follow the leader. As expected, Brauer is using his trademark flipping technique, moving quickly along the shoreline cover and pitching his lure to flooded trees and bushes. But the lure choice is surprising. A green pumpkin-colored plastic lizard, rather than his usual jig and pork presentation. Why the lure change in this post-spawn situation?
Now, they bite the lizard better. Smaller profile bait. For some reason, these fish are very spooky, and that bigger, bulky bait, they just don't want as well. Got a dentist.
Down lake in the dam area, Tim Renault of Texas has backed off the shoreline. Renault in 5th place is fishing a Carolina-rigged lizard on a break line off a red clay point. With bright sun, Mickey Bruce has switched from his early morning spinnerbait pattern to using a Carolina-rigged soft plastic lizard. Bruce in 2nd place and partner Tim Loper of Tennessee are getting strikes, but they don't measure up to the 14-inch size limit. Steeper banks along the creek channel have been the key areas for Denny Brauer. The bass are still holding here, but not moving with the falling water, as have the fish on the flooded flat points. Tim Renault and partner Linda England of Tennessee are getting quality bites, just not many strikes. With the floodgates open and a strong current over the clay point, the bass seem to move up at odd times to feed, perhaps when bait fish are pulled into the area.
Good job.
Denny Brauer is covering water, moving fast, pitching the 6-inch plastic lizard at any visible target. There doesn't seem to be any particular type cover the bass are holding around.
Yeah. Wish you'd have caught that one earlier.
With a breeze picking up and a ripple on the water, Mickey Bruce has switched tactics. He's pitching a spinnerbait around deeper, flooded bushes near the points on the main lake.
Not my day. Broke my spinnerbait. Fish won't even keep, I don't think.
The plastic lizard Denny Brauer's fishing is rigged Texas style with a buried 4/0 hook, a special screw-type peg sinker on a 20-pound test trend line. With the water clearing, he's changed from 30-pound test. Denny Brower's got a hot hand. He's going to be tough to beat at the final weigh-in.
Now, folks, here's the leader of the tournament, Denny Brower, as of yesterday, with 33 pounds and 7 ounces. And here he's got to have how much to take the lead? All right, let's wait, we'll find out. 14 pounds, 13 ounces. I believe that will give him back the lead. Let's give a nice hand, folks. There's your winner. What did you do and what was your strategy? Tell us what happened.
Well, I found one creek that just had a lot of fish in it in practice and just made my mind up to go in there and try to spend as much time as my partners would allow me. And I had 3 wonderful partners that allowed me to spend a lot of time in there. And I just picked them off one at a time, flipping and pitching a lizard around any type of wood I could find. And each day with the water dropping, there was fewer and fewer targets in the water. So it got a little tougher, and with the water clearing up and the bright sunshine, I got less bites every day. But yesterday I just caught 5 keepers, and today I managed to get 8 keepers. So.
Wonderful story. Let's give a nice hand, folks. There's your winner right there.
With a 3-day total of 48 pounds, 4 ounces, and 15 bass, Denny Brower picks up the $35,000 top award. Mickey Bruce wins $23,000, 3 pounds, 14 ounces off the lead. And J.D. Knoll of Maryland finishes 3rd to earn $21,000. Awards well earned and lessons learned about post-spawn bassin'. Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man.
Something a lot of folks have trouble with is when to use plastic bait and when to use the jig and the pork frog or the jig and the plastic trailer. And what I normally do, I love fishing jigs, and especially in cold water. They're bulky bait, they settle slow, and they're a good big fish bait. But when fish go into a post-spawn type of situation, like what we had in this particular tournament, a lot of times they're real finicky eaters, and you need a more subtle presentation, a bait that doesn't put out the bulky pressure waves of a jig. And a lizard's a great way to go during post-spawn and spawning fish. And that's kind of what I've done this week, is just stuck with the lizard, made a lot of presentations. And what I've basically done with this bait is bushes like this. As the water's falling, the fish were keying on the outer edges of the bushes, and I was making little pitches like that, making soft landings, letting the bait go straight to the bottom in the middle of the bush, shaking it a couple times, and getting it out of there if I didn't have a bite, and putting it into the next bush. Covering lots of water, standing on the trolling motor. There weren't fish bunched up in any areas. These post-spawn fish are scattered fish, and one key to catching them is moving. Cover a lot of water because they're not bunched up like other times of the year.
Spawn, a tough time to figure out the bass. The key to winning, of course, was staying ahead of the changing conditions. Another great win for Denny Brower. But of course, he seems to be at his best when things are the toughest. Depending on when you're here, fishing Bugs Island or Kerr Reservoir, as it's known, can be as different as fishing 2 different lakes. Next week, we'll show you what happens when the Bassmaster Tournament Trail returns to South Hill, Virginia. The fall bass fishing is different. You'll learn a new strategy and how the pros adapt to changing conditions and seasonal patterns. For the Bassmasters, I'm Bob Cobb. See you all next week right here.